Everybody ready to get started? Woo! You're going to have the pleasure of somebody a lot better looking than I am, Mercedes Schlapp. Going to start things off for us. One of the great American patriots in this country, that great CPAC we all hear about, American Conservative Union that she heads up. What an amazing woman, her and her husband, Matt Schlapp. So guys, get settled in. Going to have a great evening and appreciate you coming.
All right. Who's ready? Who's ready to make Arizona not just red, but super red? Who's ready to make sure that Jim Lamon becomes the next U.S. Senator here in Arizona and we beat Mark Kelly? We have a great night tonight, and I love it. I love this crowd. I love being back here in Arizona. I had such a huge blessing to come out here and campaign for former President Trump. Not only the 45th president, but the 47th president. And I also had the great honor of working with him at the White House and for 2 years, and it was really a spectacular time in my life to serve the American people, and knowing that those 4 years were literally the most successful 4 years we have had here in America in a very long time. Now, while Sleepy Joe might end up in a situation where we could be, I don't know, at war with Russia or continuing to allow people to come in illegally through the border, it just never ends with Joe Biden. He is out to lunch. He's more focused on eating his ice cream than he has in dealing with international threats or inflation. And that's why the American people, it's no longer about being woke. It's about waking up. And that's exactly what we're doing here in Arizona. We're going to take it back. We're going to make sure we send Republican senators, make sure that Jim Lamon is in the Senate to fight, to win, and to stop the Schumer machine and these leftists who are pushing a radical agenda in destroying this great country. Because we are here to save America, to preserve our freedoms, to preserve our Second Amendment, our First Amendment, and ensure that the next generation knows that America continues to be the greatest country in the world. Okay, so who's with me? Let's get started. We've got a jam-packed schedule, and I want to first start and introduce Jerron Davidson. He's a candidate for U.S. House District 9 who will be saying the prayer for us this evening. Jerron.
Thank you. Let's all stand, if you will. How many believe in God? Oh, yes, we got to get God back into America. America needs God. And we're fighting a spiritual war. How many know it's a spiritual war? We saw those demons with the ugly faces, the witches, Nancy Pelosi. We've seen demons. And we have seen the demonic lies and attacks that have come upon us and attacks upon our children. We need God to help us through this. How many Americans that still believe in God in this place? I believe that God has touched the heart of Jim Lamon to run. Jim is an excellent choice for Arizona, and he's going to do good for us. Jim is a fighter. He's ready to go in, and I pray to God that Jim wins and goes in and does what he needs to do for America. Come on, everybody, give God some praise in this place. I believe God is real. I believe that he's tangible. I believe that he hears us when we pray. I believe that he is the Father of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I believe that. I believe that God wants us to fight. I believe God wants us to fight. God had a man by the name of David, and David was a worshiping warrior. We need to worship, and we need to go to war. When you knock doors, make calls, influence people, call family, you're going to war. But before you go to war, remember to worship. Everybody, let's bow our heads and go into worship before we go to war. Father, we just bless your name tonight. We honor you. We glorify you. We thank you that you are the God who loves us. You called us into existence. You've raised up this nation called America, Father, and this nation has been a beacon of light, a beacon of freedom, and a beacon of hope to the world. We pray, God, that you would help us stand against this evil that is coming against our nation, that's coming against our world, that's coming against our children. I pray that you make them ashamed for the evil that they're bringing against this nation, Father. Turn this evil around and let the light of God shine upon us. You're the God that in the beginning made the light, and you separated the light from the day. And you said the light was good. Everybody say the light was good. Everybody say, I am the light. There is light inside of us, but there's darkness in the children of evil. And we pray, God, that you will give us power of the light of your consciousness, power of the light of your righteousness to overcome this people. Father, you are the God that in the beginning made light. And Father, you made the bird to fly, the lion to roar. You made the fish to swim and the turtle to turtle. I thank you, God, for all that you're doing. But we pray that tonight will be an amazing night of celebration. Father, that you would go before us and make the rough way smooth and the crooked way straight. In the mighty name of Jesus, we bless you, glorify you, and thank you. In Jesus' name, clap your hands and give God some praise in this place. He's worthy.
Wow, let's give a big hand here for Jerron. I want him to be my U.S. congressman. So that, wow, just amazing. We need definitely more Jesus in the halls of Congress, to say the least. Let's hear an amen. Now, joining us to say the Pledge of Allegiance, Gabriel Klass, 3rd Vice President of the National Border Control Council.
All United States citizens join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to his republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Make sure your kids and grandkids are learning the Pledge of Allegiance, because some of these schools are not even teaching it anymore. Now we are honored to have Cassidy Miller, who will be singing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was just so beautiful, just so beautiful. All right, who's still with me here? Okay, let's keep going. It's going to be a great night. We've got joining us now Walt Blackman. Okay. He seems like he's a favorite in this crowd. Arizona State Representative and candidate for U.S. House District 2. Come on out, Walt Blackman. They want to hear from you.
How's everybody doing tonight? No. How are you doing tonight? Yeah. I see we've got some patriots out here. Do we got some patriots out here? Oh, okay, that's what I'm talking about. You know what? This is our country. I wanted to put that out there first. There's no doubt that we're going to win in 2022. There's no doubt we're going to win in 2024. And there is no doubt that we are going to keep our country. You know, it's a hard thing that we're doing, and I know that. You folks have been on the ground working and busting your behind for months on end. You know, Dale Carnegie said, most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Perseverance transforms average, everyday people like you into world champions. We need to think like champions when we take back our country. You know what, folks? I'm honored to be here in front of you. And I'm going to get the hook here pretty soon. But I just want to tell you this. There's no way in the world that I could do this without your prayers and your blessing. Now I want you to do something for a guy. He's an infantryman, and that's okay, because I'm a tanker, and he jumps out of planes, and I rode on tanks. They call us dumb. Jim Lamon is the man, the leader that we need to send to D.C. We need to send a message that we are done running in the corner, that we are done playing nice, that we are done turning our backs. We are not going to lose our country. We're going to keep our country. The veterans fought for this country. I fought for this country. Jim fought for this country. We're going to take our country back. God bless you. God bless Arizona. Thank you.
Wow. What are you guys drinking the water here or something? Remarkable. And you know, Walt's so right. Let me tell you how these people play out there. I'll never forget when I was at the White House, Nancy Pelosi. Wow, okay. You know she's running for re-election, people. Hi, I'm Nancy, and my eyebrows are really high. It's called too much Botox. Okay, so Nancy literally did a press conference at 10 a.m., said that she was moving forward with the president's impeachment articles of impeachment. Then comes going into the White House to talk about infrastructure with the president. And I love President Trump. He said, "No way, Nancy. Go back to the Hill." And he pretty much kicked her out. So guess what, people? It's time to kick out Nancy Pelosi. It's time to kick out Chuck Schumer. And it's time to bring Jim Lamon to Washington, D.C., i.e. the swamp. But let me tell you something. Last year, and I am right now living in the state of Virginia where we just elected a Republican governor, Glenn Youngkin. I was inspired every day by those parents who spoke up, who decided they were no longer going to be silent. They became the mama grizzly bears. They became the papa grizzly bears. They were done. And it is because of those parents that it has become a movement across the country to stop CRT, to stop a gender confusion agenda that the left and these liberals are pushing. Because let me tell you something. The goal of the left and the Marxists are to indoctrinate our children. And it is our job to draw the line and stop them. And this brave woman did just that. I'm very honored to introduce Amanda Ray, an education activist here in Arizona, part of the Scottsdale Unified School District Community Advocacy Network, to come and tell her story. Amanda.
Thank you. I am honored to speak here in front of you tonight. While I have always been a conservative and a patriot, I was activated during COVID. When my children were denied access to in-person learning, I started paying attention to who was governing our school district. Who in here has children or grandchildren? All right. How many of those have attended public schools? All right. All right. So who's with me here? By asking questions of those entrusted to educate our children, we were identified as domestic terrorists by the DOJ, and a target was put on our back. We uncovered misuse of taxpayer dollars, violations of state laws, and woke curriculum, and that was very threatening to our school districts. I was cyber-stalked, harassed, and even followed by the school board president and his father. The Greenbergs, let's go ahead and name them, the Greenbergs. But I wasn't the only one. There were 47 other parents that became their target. And they together were found to have more than 100 gigabytes of surveillance data on a Google Drive. They published defamatory materials that were intended to hurt our reputations and hurt our businesses and our careers, all because we wanted to know how they were educating our children and spending our tax dollars. When we went public with this information, Jim Lamon was first on the scene. As well as Kari Lake. They pledged their support and stepped into action immediately. With Jim and Kari's help, we've been able to stay in this fight despite massive intimidation techniques and political opposition. These people have tried to cancel us and hurt our reputations. Our own Attorney General, a candidate for the U.S. Senate. Wait. You all know him, Mark Nunchuck. Wait. His name's so hard to pronounce. It's Bronovich, right? Okay, Nunchuck. He has had multiple open meeting law violations sitting on his desk since August of 2021. But every night, he's on Fox News campaigning to be our next senator. I'm with you, believe me. He has allowed our school district and many others in the district to continue operating with impunity because they've been left unchecked by our Attorney General, who should be protecting us. Our public school systems have our children for 180 days a year, 7 hours a day. And we have to stop this leftist indoctrination, or we will end up with a new generation of Americans who hate their country and hate each other. My husband, Daniel, is in the audience tonight. Oh, there he is. We are the proud parents of 2 little girls, and my husband is a legal immigrant to this country. and we teach our children to love their country and to judge people on the content of their character. Our school districts are acting differently. It might feel like this is breaking news, but the left has been indoctrinating our school districts for decades. But the perk of COVID is that we all got an insight into what was happening into the classroom. There are numerous issues plaguing our country right now, but I can't think of anything more important than the education of our next generation of leaders, our children. And we need strong conservative leaders like Jim Lamon and Kari Lake. It's time to take back our children, and Jim and Kari have the wisdom and the strength and experience to get that job done. Who's with me? Let's go.
Amanda. This is what happens when you have two moms hanging out with each other. You know what I mean? She's amazing, and it's so true. What's happening in our schools and how we have to make sure we stay on top of what's happening in each and every one of these school districts and push back on this agenda. But since I've been bringing up these random names that really cause these amazing visceral reactions, I'm going to bring up another name. Dr. Fauci. Whoa, okay, that is very serious there. Wait, what? Lock him up, oh Lord. Are we bringing that back up? The guy who knew about the Wuhan lab. Interesting. The guy who wants to make sure you keep on a mask for the rest of your life and get about 50 vaccines in 1 year. People. Insanity. Pure insanity. This is when you know we've lost it in America. And really, Dr. Fauci, it's time for you to go and retire. Somewhere far, far away. All right, I'm going to keep coming up with names here. But next I've got a great guy, someone who I've actually done TV with. He is a blast, wonderful, such a great conservative commentator, Kevin Jackson.
What's up, white people? And Lori, where are you, Lori? You guys ready to have a true conservative senator representing Arizona? I know one. If Democrats think cinema is a pain, just wait until Jim Lamon gets to Washington, right? For those of you who don't know me, the racist, former Fox News contributor, best-selling author, and film producer, I act as Jim's body double on the campaign when he can't be. The left wouldn't see it, though, because they would point out our differences, like my beautiful tan and amazing hairstyle. But politically, Jim and I are indeed twins with much the same background. I grew up on a big cattle ranch in Brady, Texas, and Jim grew up on a farm. And we both know the meaning of hard work. And Jim's first job, if you didn't know it, was shoveling horse manure on his family farm. And little did he know how much this was going to help him later in life. Because DC's full of crap. I don't know about you folks, but here's what I want in my next senator. I want a senator who will say to other senators on the issue of life, if you skip conception, then please explain the science of how you did it. I want a senator who recognizes that America doesn't have a gun problem, it has a leftism problem. I want a senator who recognizes that America does not have a border problem, it has a leftism problem. I want a senator who recognizes that America doesn't have a China problem, we have a leftism problem. And don't believe me, ask Hunter Biden or Mark Kelly. I asked Jim his stance on education when I met him, and he says he believes that every child possesses genius in something. Our education system should help him or her find that genius. But what we shouldn't do is demoralize the children.
As I mentioned, Jim Lamon worked hard from an early age, work ethic. He played football at Alabama under the great Bear Bryant. We at SMU forgive him for that. But it was one of the best football programs in the country. And do you know how you get a spot on a program like that? Work ethic. You know how you keep a spot on a program like that? Work ethic. Jim enlisted in the Army, served this nation honorably. The military teaches work ethic. Then he built an amazing energy company from scratch. Not your scratch, but from his own scratch. And for you white folks, that's Ebonics for money. Work ethic. Now Jim wants to really serve. He gave up his life as a business mogul, sold his company because he wants to represent Arizona. Why? Because he will bring work ethic to D.C. We are so lucky, I say this with all sincerity, we are so lucky to have a man with such integrity who wants to represent the state of Arizona. And I'm asking you to commit tonight to what I'm about to ask you to do on Jim's behalf. 1, donate. Even if it's only a small amount, do so. The GOP looks at the little donations. They want to see that he has grassroots support. It's one thing for somebody to give him $1 million, which he would probably take. But it's a whole other to have 100,000 people give him $10. If you are moved to do so, as I have been, I want you to volunteer to help Jim. At the very least, tell a few friends about him. And 3, go to jimlamon.com, look at Jim's position on issues, and you too will be his twin. Jim Lamon asked for my vote. He got it because he earned it. Thanks for your time, folks.
That was great. Okay. We're playing the name game still. I've got one for you. Okay, so you know 2 people, the unemployment numbers have been up and down all over the place. So we've got 2 people who are unemployed. Andrew and Chris Cuomo. So let's bow our heads for Andrew and Chris Cuomo right now. To the Cuomo brothers, may you find a job somewhere in another country far, far away. Okay, now I'm so honored to introduce Arizona State Representative for the District 11, Theresa Martinez.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I am Theresa Martinez. I'm State Representative for Pinal County, LD11, and a little portion of Tucson. So I want to tell you a little bit. We are in our 2nd week of session at the Arizona State Legislature. 2nd week. And I've already dropped the heartbeat bell. I've already dropped a bill stating that the school must put the curriculum for 2 years on the website, 3 clicks or less, not require a login or portal, and must require all authors of the material that's going to be sent to our children on the website for public and comments from parents. Because our children belong to their parents and the family, not the government. Our children do not belong to the government. You can stand up for that. Yes, that's right. Okay, sit down because I only got 2 minutes. We also fought in a bill. So I'm in a couple committees: water, energy, military, public safety, and government and elections. And already, Representative Jake Hoffman has already put a bill to stop and outlaw same-day voter registration which I happily co-sponsored. The left tells me, you know what? We need same-day voter registration because of the women, because of the minorities, and because of the people who work those hourly jobs. Well, I told them, excuse me, I'm a woman, I'm brown, and up until recently, I worked an hourly job, and I can assure you, I am not a victim. I am victorious, and I can meet deadlines. I can follow procedures. I am a conservative. I'm a single mom. I'm a Latina. I'm a little spicy. But I love America. And I love Arizona. And I need a U.S. Senator who's going to defend both. And I looked at them. Lots of people wanted my endorsement. And I called them and I said, I am not picking you. There was 3 very ugly calls. And then I called Jim. And the reason I pick Jim is because I need a U.S. Senator who's going to care more about the state of Arizona than he does himself. You can go ahead up and stand up and clap for Jim Lamon. You stand up for Jim Lamon. Let me tell you what else we need. While you're standing, and we need your applause, and we need your ovation. We absolutely need that. But we need you to sign his petition. I need every single person in this room to go online and sign his petition. I need you to go ahead and share his posts over and over again. I need you, every single person in this room, if you just got 3 people, we'd have 1,000 people behind him. And that's how an army is built, because this is a war. It's a cultural war. Now, I'm going to do my darndest to fight tooth and nail. And if I go down, I'm going to go down scratching and screaming and hollering every inch of the way. But what we need is this on the federal level. And if we don't have Jim Lamon, who do we got? We got no one. This race is one of the most important. This and governor, and I endorse and support Kari Lake, by the way. We need to get her in office. And I'm going to tell you this. With Kari in the White House and me in the, excuse me. Ooh, that would be nice. Kari, that's next. With Kari in the governor's house, the governor, and with me in the state house, we are going to fix Arizona. And I tell you, and I promise you that. But we need Jim Lamon in the U.S. Senate. Please sign his petition. Please share his material. That's easy and cheap to do. If you have a shirt, wear it. If you have a hat, wear it. We need to pull together as a community to save this country. I am Theresa Martinez. I proudly endorse Jim Lamon for U.S. Senate. Thank you.
That was fantastic. And I got to tell you, in spending time here in Arizona, the Hispanic voter, that is a swing voter right now. It's trending Republican. We got to keep reaching out to the Hispanic community, bringing them on board, bringing the Black community on board. Those Democrats have taken the minority community for granted for far too long. All right, back to name game. AOC. Okay, I have nothing else to add there. But next I've got, I just call her clueless. Like, her eyes are so big, and it's like, oh my gosh, okay, chill out. Things are going to be okay. All right, but next I've got to introduce a dear friend of mine, someone who I had a great honor to work with at the Trump campaign. He was the former Trump campaign COO, CFO. He's rock star, just so wonderful. Former state treasurer of Arizona, Jeff DeWit.
Look at this. Look at this. This is awesome. I love this. This warms my heart, doesn't it? Mercedes Schlapp, everybody, amazing. If you don't know, her and Matt, all the good work they do for this country. So I am so proud to come here and talk to you guys. We're going to win. We're taking our country back. I guarantee it. I'll tell you one of the metrics we use on the campaign, and I early on, this is in the 2016 campaign, I'll never forget, in one of the rallies, I went outside, and one of these, you know, there's out front of rallies, there's always these clothing vendors, and they sell all the stuff, and it's all bootleg stuff, but we love it because they're getting the name out. And I talked to this one guy, we had this big conversation, and he told me early on, this is early in 16, he said, I guarantee you Trump is going to win. He said, I guarantee you. And I said, what makes you say that? And he actually said, he goes, and, you know, and I don't want to say this, but I'm actually a Democrat, but I'm telling you Trump's going to win. And I said, what makes you say that? He goes, well, I just sell stuff. So I go to all the Trump rallies, and I go to all the Hillary rallies, and you guys are outselling her 20-1. He said, and I'll tell you, well, whoever sells the most stuff wins. And he was right. And I had this thought. So here's a question for you. If you've seen ever in your life a Make America Great Again hat, raise your hand. If you've seen one, right? Who hasn't, right? Now, if you've seen a Build Back Better hat, raise your hand. I've never seen one. Have you guys seen one? The only thing I've seen of Joe Biden are those stickers on the gas pumps that say, I did this. And just so you know, and if there's police in the room, close your ears, there's a likely chance one of my 3 daughters put that sticker on there. Just we have those. And they seem to enjoy doing that. Every time we stop for gas, they're going around and sneaking those on. Raise them right. We're going to take our country back, you guys. I guarantee it. We have too many good patriots doing too many good things. We're going to take our country back. So, oh, you have one. You have the sticker right there. Look at that. Yes, yes. Make sure that shows up. Oh my God. We were just talking. Jared Small's backstage, another Trump guy, campaign guy. Awesome guy who's actually running this event right now. Love him. And we were literally just talking before I came up about how quickly Biden has tanked the country. It's just been a year, you guys. Is that not amazing? I don't want to depress everyone to think that we have almost 3 more years of this before we can get him out of there. But the damage he can do, boy, do elections have consequences or what? The greatest thing I saw, did you see this? Was it yesterday, the day before? Our good friend, President Trump, was on a golf course, and they asked him, you know, he's president number 45, and Joe Biden is 46. And they said, what do you think? You know, I forgot how the question was worded, but he says, well, I'm pretty sure I'm also going to be 47. I love it. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys, we have some great people here. The number one thing we can do right now in the midterms is support the right candidates. We've got to get the right people in place so we can take back as much of our country right now. We've got to win a majority in the Senate and the House because you've seen all the crazy stuff that they're already trying to do to us there. With these crazy election bills, everything else, we've got to win it back. So I am so proud to support Jim Lamon for Senate. He's a great guy. And I'll tell you, on the Trump campaign, let's go, Jim Lamon. First, let's get out there. I didn't want to step on the applause because it's well worth it. Look, you guys, go back to even the 16 campaign. In the 16 campaign, those of us that were on the campaign were told by so many people, your career's done. We're going to cook you. You're going to be toast for supporting Donald Trump. It's what a terrible idea. And I have so much respect for those people that stood up then to support him before he was even the president. And if you look at this race for Senate, Jim Lamon was there in a big way, very publicly, with money, with everything else. He was at all the rallies, taking the pictures. Jim Lamon was very out front. I was there. I saw it. His opponents were nowhere to be found. And by the way, Jim Lamon has given hundreds of thousands of dollars to Trump and Trump causes. The collected total of all of his opponents running for Senate combined is $0. $0. Not a penny. That should say a lot about who's actually there for Trump, who's actually there for America first, and who's not. So We've got to take back Arizona, obviously. It blows my mind, too, that we have 2 Democrat senators. We've got to fix this. Yes? We have got to fix this. You know, the one way to unrig an election is to flood the ballot boxes with so many Republican votes that they can't take it. So we've got, let's just go. Let's make sure everybody we know is out there. The good news, you guys, we all have that one Democrat friend. Don't we all have the one moron that used to say, that Joe Biden. Have you all noticed that moron is really quiet? Even they know it was a bad idea now. They all know now. So you guys, we've got to support the right people. I am so proud of the people we have here. Kari Lake, amazing. What an amazing woman she is. She is so great. I'm such a huge fan. Jim Lamon. We have some good people. And by the way, I want to point someone out. Is Keith Schiller, is he still back? Is he up here? You're going to see Keith Schiller in a minute, by the way, who was the director of operations for the Oval Office. When you see him, I want you guys to know, he was with President Trump for 30 years. This guy is so solid and such a good person, a person you'll never, ever know about. And he never comes out of the shadows. He likes to hide. He's such a great, wonderful Republican and America First guy. So when you see him, Keith Schiller, remember him when you come on later and give him a big round too. The work that he's done for this country and for President Trump is just truly amazing. So you'll see him in a little bit. I want to make sure I call them out. You guys, it is such a great honor. Again, the honor you bestowed on me to be your state treasurer and then to go and serve with Donald Trump in D.C. on the campaign, then with him in D.C. and with Mercedes again on the 2020 campaign. We're going to take our country back because of you. Let's do it again. Let's rise up. We're going to take it back. Thank you, everybody.
Let's go, Brandon. Okay, guys, you're not supposed to say that because the left thinks that it's, inappropriate rhetoric, okay? And you might be canceled, okay? So what do we say? Let's go, Brandon. That's right. We're never going to shut up. We're only going to speak louder and bolder. Jim Lamon for Senate. Okay. I've got a name. Pete Buttigieg. All right, let me make this real clear, people, okay? He goes on paternity leave for 8 months, it seems like. Doesn't tell a soul in Washington. And then we have a supply chain crisis, okay? Let me make this very clear. I have 5 daughters. The second day that daughter was born, I was like, Matt Schlapp, you go back to work right now. And he was working at the White House at the time for President Bush. And I was like, I'll take care of raising this kid. You go back to work. I mean, who wants to have their husband hanging out with you the whole time at the house after you have a kid? Women, tell me right now. All right. Okay, Buttigieg. Now let's move to our next speaker, Justin Harris, president of Arizona Police Association. We back the blue.
Please, you can all sit down now. I don't have the gun on, but I swear I'm in a safe place here. So, again, my name is Justin Harris. First of all, I want to say thank you and welcome to my backyard. I'm actually president of the Glendale Law Enforcement Association as well. Thank you. So welcome. As well as I'm also president of the Arizona Police Association, and we represent over 12,000 men and women in law enforcement, Border Patrol, Customs Enforcement across the great state of Arizona. And I can tell you that I'm a Valley native, and I'm very proud to be a Valley native, born and raised here in Arizona, the son of a Phoenix police officer. My son is also a Glendale police officer here. So it's 3 generations right here in Arizona. And after my son got out of the military serving, he came to Glendale and applied, and I was very proud of him. The father's just happy for his son. But then I started to see what was going on in our country. Then I grew concerned about my son, being a police officer myself for over 2 decades now, seeing my son who fought in Afghanistan, now he's fighting in the streets of Glendale. But you see what's going on across the country, and you go, this is just awful. This is pure evil. And this evil is being driven by the Democratic Party. You have Democratic leadership that is encouraging assaulting police, rioting in your streets, and they're just calling them peaceful protest. It's absolutely disgusting. They're letting bad guys go out on the streets. These very Democratic, liberal, progressive attorneys are letting these criminals back on the streets. A cop arrests a bad guy. This prosecutor takes weeks or days or hours, whatever, to look at a case and go, you know what? This fits a certain category. You're getting released. That person gets released and goes and murders another person. This brings me to my point. Democrats, including Joe Biden, have tried attacking law enforcement by defunding police. That didn't work. They talked about now coming after the sacred part of law enforcement, and that is the qualified immunity. What is qualified immunity? Qualified immunity is when a police officer is doing the best job they possibly can. Maybe things don't go the way it should, but at least they tried their best. They want to strip that from the police officers because they're not measuring any of the conduct of the criminal. But then you take it the next step, and George Soros and these communist evil, yes, he is. They are sponsoring these attorney generals. They're getting them into these offices. They're letting these criminals back on the streets, and yet they want to take qualified immunity off from police officers who are making a split-second decision, but these prosecutors are held harmless for these decisions they have time to make. So my question is when are they going to eliminate immunity for prosecutors? Folks, we can put bad guys away all day, but if it's a revolving door, it's going to burn the cops out. We're already short-staffed. We're already under attack from the social progressive, these communists. The pure evil is out here attacking the good, and these people are listening to evil. I appreciate all your guys' support here, but this takes me back a few months ago when I was introduced to somebody I didn't even know. An individual who wanted to meet for lunch, get to introduce himself. Met Jim Lamon several months ago at a local restaurant here to sit down and say, introduce who he was, and he says, hey, Justin, he goes, I'm a former paratrooper, have a family, got grandkids, got a real comfortable life. Started a very successful business here in Scottsdale, employed over 1,600 people. He's a job creator, true leader. And when he told me that he was doing this not because he was a politician, not because he wanted to be in the limelight, this man simply looked at that TV screen, saw the lies, saw the evil, and he said, Justin, I want my kids to have a better country, my grandkids to have a better country, and my grandkids to have a better country. This man is stepping away from a very comfortable life, and I don't know how hard that must have been for him to look at his family, his grandkids, and say, hey, I'm going to throw my hat in this ring, and I'm going to change this country because we're going down the wrong path. So when in those conversations, I got to know Jim over the past several months. This is a man who has a genuinely good heart. He's doing this for all the right reasons. He supports law and order. He loves this country. He loves his family. He loves his friends, and he loves his communities. And what he doesn't want to see is this evil shadow that's been cast across this country continue to go any further. He wants to be the man who leads the charge to stop this crap from happening. And this takes me back to a moment. I want to get this quote right because as I got to know Jim and all his reasons for why he's wanting to run, it reminded me of a really famous quote that's out there by Martin Luther King Jr. And he said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moment of comfort, and Jim was very comfortable, believe me, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. There's a huge challenge, and boy, have we seen the controversy, and we're only in January. So as I got to know Jim, I love the man. I'm going to stand behind him. My 12,000 men and women in blue are going to stand behind him. Our brothers in Border Patrol are going to stand behind him. I can tell you right now, I'm 100% confident under Jim's leadership, he will restore the border. He'll bring back the border security to protect our country. He will support law enforcement and bring back safe communities. And he's going to help put an end to this tyrant, this evil, this communism that has infected this country. With that being said, if you support safe communities, vote Jim Lamon. If you support law enforcement, vote Jim Lamon. Now is the time to decide, each of you. You need to get on social media. You need to reach out to your friends, your families, put signs in your yard, donate to his campaign. This man is doing everything on his own as much as he can. He needs everyone's help. He needs everyone's help to win, because I can tell you that I know Mark Kelly, and Mark Kelly is a liar. Mark Kelly's riding on coattails from his past, and Mark Kelly only cares about Mark Kelly. He's from Tucson, and how many times has he been to the border? None. Is he saying anything to support law enforcement? Absolutely not. Yes, he is. So with that being said, as a Valley native, generations of law enforcement in my family, I care about my communities. I don't care what race, gender, color you are. I don't care what decision you make, as long as you're a good person with a good heart and you care about your neighbor. Folks, we got to start turning this ship around in 2022. We need to get Jim out of the primary. Then we need to kick Mark Kelly's butt in the general. We need to send a strong statement to Washington that the Democrat evil, the communism, is no longer welcome in this country, and it starts right here in my great state of Arizona. Vote Jim Lamon, people.
Round of applause for Justin Harris. You know what's so beautiful about this is that you've seen the mom, the education activist, the Hispanic state rep. You have these candidates running, African Americans who are standing up, love America. You have the fact that this police officer, these are real people in your community. And they're standing with Jim. They believe in Jim's message of hope, of America first, of Arizona first, of building a strong country and regaining control of our border. And I want to introduce someone who I have great respect for, someone who I've known for quite some time, someone who understood very clearly what was happening at the border and really did what he could to make sure that we had border security and stop the drug cartels and the human traffickers from profiting off of these vulnerable families. This is the message that the Democrats don't say. They don't talk about the drug cartels. They don't talk about the human traffickers. And you have young girls who are being sexually assaulted, raped, as they're coming across that border. And those Democrats are weak and do absolutely nothing. Where is that border czar? She's laughing her way back into her office. So let me introduce Tom Homan, former director of ICE.
Hey. Hey, I appreciate it. Look, I'm here with two heroes. These are Border Patrol agents. I want them to speak first. These are the finest 1% this country has.
Thank you. Thank you. I am Hector Andujo. I am the second vice president of the Local 2544, and I represent the National Border Patrol Council. You guys have already met Mr. Gabriel Class here earlier. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but the border is not in good condition right now, as you guys know. So I don't want to. So here it goes. Don't want to be the bearer of bad news. If not for a deep desire to serve the American public, it would be nearly impossible for the rank and file Border Patrol agents to put on a uniform day in and day out in an attempt to secure the borders of this great nation. Against the direct will of the American people, President Biden has made the securing of our borders impossible. Instead, his policies have allowed criminal cartels to advertise their services throughout the world with the promise that illegal border crossers will be allowed to remain in the United States without fear of deportation. This has caused severe human misery, as vulnerable women, children, put themselves in the hands of dangerous smugglers and human traffickers to physically and sexually abuse them from time to time. At times, they even murder them. This historic high in illegal border crossing over the past year has forced the Border Patrol to dedicate more than 50% of its resources to activities other than patrolling the border. The gaps in the Border Patrol coverage have led to a huge increase in flow of hard narcotics into the United States, which is wreaking havoc on our lives, the lives of our children, as drug overdose deaths continue to soar. It starts with policy, as President Biden's policies have made our borders the least secure in our beautiful nation's history. It's time for the Biden administration to recognize that not one more United States citizen should be victimized at the hands of criminal aliens. The Biden administration the administration's main responsibility to our safety, the administration's main responsibility is to our safety and prosperity rather than to that of foreign nationals who knowingly and willfully violate the laws of the United States. The National Border Patrol Council is grateful that Jim Lamon is willing to step up to the plate and do what Mark Kelly hasn't done yet. Jim Lamon will make border security a reality, and for those reasons, we have endorsed him and will continue to endorse Jim Lamon. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm here tonight because I'm pissed. And I think every time you see me, I'm pissed. First of all, I'm pissed off because I didn't sing the national anthem. I was promised I get to sing that. Then I'm backstage up to my ass in politicians. I don't like politicians. But I tell you, this politician, Jim Lamon, is one hell of a hero for me. So I want to talk about it later, but I want to talk about real quickly what's going on the border. I want to double down what the Border Patrol agents here said. I started my career as a Border Patrol agent. What depresses me, I asked him, I said, I entered on duty as a Border Patrol agent in 1984. What were you doing? He was learning how to ride a bike, and he was in kindergarten. So that didn't make me feel good. Look, I worked for 6 presidents. When I became a Border Patrol agent, I worked for Ronald Reagan. I worked for 6 presidents, and I respect every president I ever worked for, even though I disagreed with him. Every president came into office wanting a secure border. You got to appreciate that. But nobody secured the border and gave us a more secure border than the greatest president of my lifetime, Donald Trump. You're damn right. And look, if you don't like Donald Trump, you don't like me. And if you don't like me, I really don't give a shit. But so 6 presidents want a secure border. President Trump gave us the most secure border in my lifetime, in my career. Illegal immigration was down 83%, 35-year low. 35-year low. So let me ask you something. When illegal immigration is down 83%, how many women aren't being raped? How many children aren't dying? How many pounds of fentanyl isn't coming across the border to kill Americans, right? President Trump gave us a more secure border. He saved lives, was not inhumane. And the reason I'm here today is because I was contacted by Jim Lamon's group, and I don't endorse anybody unless I touch them, smell them, feel them, and talk to them and what they're about.
I spent a lot of time talking to Jim Lamon, and he supports every one of Donald Trump's policies because he knows they work. And I don't endorse a lot of people, but I proudly endorse Jim Lamon because he's the first step in taking this country back. He's in Arizona. He cares about the border, and he's going to be the first step in taking this border back and securing it for us here in the state of Arizona. Joe Biden, the first president in the history of this nation that came into office and intentionally unsecured the most secure border we ever had. Who the hell does that? So not only did he unsecure the border, an immigration crisis was created, a humanitarian crisis was created, a public safety crisis was created. These men back here and the rest of the Border Patrol agents arrested over 12,000 criminals. There's 500,000 gotaways based on camera traffic, drone traffic, sensor traffic. How many of that 500,000 were gang members? How many of them were carrying COVID or TB? How many of them were sexual predators? How many of them were carrying fentanyl? And look, when you open the border up to illegal immigration like this president did, you open up to as a national security issue. How many guys that across that border with the 500,000 weren't caught? Border Patrol arrested 16 people on the FBI screening database. Terrorists don't want to get arrested. So out of the 500,000, how many crossed the border that came here to blow something up? We don't know, but someday we're going to find out. President Biden sold this country out, become president, and Alejandro Mayorkas he needs to be impeached. He's an embarrassment to the position he holds. I worked for Alejandro Mayorkas when he was deputy secretary. He knows how to shut this down. We shut it down in FY15. He was a deputy secretary. Joe Biden was the vice president. I met with those men numerous times when we had a surge in FY15. We built a plan. They know how to shut it down. You build detention. You hold people. You make them see a judge, and you send them home. What are they doing now? They're releasing them. They don't have to see a judge, and ICE have been decapitated. They can't arrest anybody. The secretary's on record. Being in the country illegally is not enough to be arrested by an ICE agent or a Border Patrol agent. Think about that. So I'm 100% behind Joe. I'm 100% behind Mr. Lamon. Please support him because he's going to help us secure the Arizona border. Mark Kelly, I don't know what the hell he's doing. He ain't done shit to the border, but we got Jim Lamon going to do it. And I'll tell you what, I'm still pissed off. I want to tell you a little story. I want to get you fired up a little bit. I was doing Fox the other day, about 2 weeks ago. I got, like usual, I was mad and I was throwing shit. You know, I'm mad doing the interview. And after the show, I was taking the microphone off and the earpiece out, and my phone rings. And it was Donald Trump. True story. True story. Tom, just saw you in Fox. Good job, as usual. Thanks for having my back. He goes, two things. That picture behind you. Is that you and me when I gave you the National Security Medal? I said, yeah. He goes, blow it up. I can't see myself. Okay. True, that's true. And if you look at it, it's been blown up. Second thing, stop getting so pissed off. You and I are going to fix this shit in 2024. I want to do one thing. Now, I want to, folks, I want to do one thing because there's a person in the audience I love. He was a special agent. He came in the Border Patrol with me in 1984. He became a special agent with me. This man done more undercover operations for the Phoenix PD, the DEA, ICE. He put his life on the line so many times. He taught me everything I know about immigration, about human trafficking, alien smuggling. He's a true hero, too. Armando Garcia, will you stand up if you're in the audience, please? There's a hero. Hey, Garcia, stand up. Stand up. Up, up. There he is.
There you are.
Wow. Hector, Gabriel, Tom Homan, it's so great to have them there. When you go to bed tonight, do me a favor, say a prayer. Pray for our Border Patrol agents. Pray for our police. Pray for our military. Pray for our veterans who are fighting every day on the front line to defend our freedoms and this great country. The next speaker, she needs no introduction. She is a Spitfire, someone who is so charismatic, so determined, and ready to win. Kari Lake, candidate for governor of Arizona.
Who is sick and tired of this crap? And now the hospitals are telling them, get this vaccine or get out. That's just appalling. I think Donald Trump struck a chord in me and millions of other Americans that you need to have passion and love for your country and your community.
The next governor of the state of Arizona.
Kari Lake.
Whoa.
This could be a big night for you. Thank you very much, Kari. Good job.
Wow. This is fun. I love this. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, what a crowd tonight. I mean, this is what we're doing on our Thursday nights. Nothing beats it. I got to thank Jim Lamon for pulling this group together. I mean, it's standing room only. Jim, I know you're back there somewhere. You are amazing, and we're so lucky to have you in this race. You're going to be great when you're senator. So here we are on a Thursday night. How many of you 3-4 years ago would have been at a political event on a Thursday night? A few of you. Really, are we awake? We've got moms in here. Let me see the moms. Dads, any dads? How about students? How many young people are now awake? Look at that. Let's give them a hand. We are all wide awake to the madness going on in this world, aren't we? We know there's unfortunately no Superman who's going to fly in and save us because Trump, yes, he's pretty dang close. Trying not to swear. He's pretty darn close. But I think there's a lot of us in this room that are superheroes. And I know that God put us here at this moment, this very critical moment, in human history and in American history because he wants us to save the place. I'm up for the fight. Is anybody else? And to be honest, it's why I stepped up and I'm in the race right now for governor of Arizona. I am the only America First candidate running for governor in Arizona. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of people in here. And I am the only one endorsed by our favorite president, Donald J. Trump. There you go, that's awesome. So, I don't like to brag, but do you know why he endorsed me? He endorsed me because I have the same feelings about this country. I stand for the same thing that he stands for. I want to preserve our freedoms. Anybody else? I want Arizona to be the best state to raise a family. And I want to bring back secure borders finally and safe streets. It's getting pretty dangerous out there on our streets, unfortunately. But most importantly, President Trump knows that I am a fighter just like him. And I cannot be bought. Right? Unlike our political class that has sold us out for far too long. I mean, think about what they've done to this country over the years, over the decades. It's sick. They handed over the keys to American businesses, to American universities, to communist China. It's unacceptable. They sold out the American worker. I'd like you to wrap your mind around this. Think back to what you were doing in 1980. We don't really think about where China was in 1980. They were nothing. They were farms They were wooden, they had oxen, wooden plows, they were nothing. And China went from nothing to stealing our companies and stealing our intellectual property and taking over our economy in one generation. It's astounding what they managed to do. They are manufacturing now all of our iPhones. They manufacture our computers. They manufacture our appliances, pretty much everything we have. I mean, just try to find something that China doesn't make. They took our manufacturing. They've robbed our industry. They've unleashed a virus onto this world. It's unacceptable. And now they're trying to poison us with fentanyl that they're sending through our neighbors in the south in Mexico, right up through Arizona, to poison and weaken this country, and we're not going to take it anymore. China robbed us blind because of American traders who sold us out. And one of them is sitting in the White House right now. And he really shouldn't be there. He's probably eating ice cream, curled up in bed right now, doesn't know what's going on. So think about it. If they can do that in one generation, then we can take back our economy and we can do it in the same amount of time. But we have to be willing to do it, and I'm willing to do that. How about you? Who in this room wants to bring jobs back from China to Arizona? Absolutely. And I want you to remember something, because we sometimes see China as this big bad guy, and they are. But never, ever forget this. America is superior. China is absolutely nothing without us, and if without us, they actually crumble. They actually crumble without us. So we will reverse this nightmare, and it's going to take a governor and governors of other states to stand up and push back against China. And I'm willing to do that. I got to tell you, I'm raising teenagers right now, so I'm not afraid of those commies. I can handle anything. I got a 17 and 18-year-old. China doesn't scare me. As governor, I will cancel all deals that our politicians and lobbyists made with the CCP. We're going to tear those up. We will not work with a country that uses slave labor and manipulates the market. We will not work with them. It's immoral to work with them. I think we all know it's time for us to wise up before we're out of time, and I think we are wisening up, and that's a good thing. But it's going to take a strong leader to do that, and it's going to take strong leaders in all 50 states. We don't have the strength right now in the White House, but I think in short order we will get some strength back there. Who else agrees with that? So we got to go after China, obviously. As governor, I will take on corruption in this state and make sure that our elections are reformed so we can have faith in our elections again. We want to know that the people who are holding office are actually the people that we voted for. That it's an election, not a selection. We're tired of that. I unveiled my border plan about a week ago. It's called Defend Arizona, and we will do just that. We will stop the invasion at our border. We need to remind Joe Biden that we are sovereign and not serfs of the federal government. And I'm actually going to make a big announcement tonight. I have just released, just in the last hour, my policy to tackle homelessness in Arizona. So that we can restore quality of life for the hardworking, tax-paying citizens of this state. We've been forgotten in that. We have been forgotten. It's about time that we're able to safely enjoy this state, enjoy life in Arizona again. We want to stroll our children down the street. We want to take our kids to a park, walk downtown, attend a game without fear of stepping on a used needle, without fear of being hurt by an unstable, dangerous individual. We deserve that. And if we don't take a stern and serious approach to this, I want you to mark my words, Arizona, we will become just like California. a collection of dead cities and towns. How many of you have seen the wastelands of Los Angeles lately? San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. It is a zombie apocalypse on the streets, and I'm not exaggerating. The tents on the side of the road, they're using drugs on the side of the street. Police can't do anything about it. It's horrible, and I will not let that happen in Arizona. We're not going to do it. Now, our current approach involves throwing a whole lot of money at the problem and getting very few results. As a matter of fact, we know it's not working because in the past 4 years, the number of homeless that are living on our streets in Arizona in the past 4 years has doubled. You probably know, have you been downtown lately? And it's not just downtown, it's all over. Fountain Hills, Cave Creek, small towns. We have enabled addicts. We've prolonged their misery, and we have forced that misery onto the tax-paying, law-abiding citizens of Arizona. We don't deserve this. So we know looking the other way and allowing this to happen is not showing compassion at all. It's frankly, it's cruelty what's happening on the streets. Under my Restore Quality of Life for Arizona plan, we will no longer allow drugged out and deranged individuals to control our streets and our parks and our roadways. We Arizonans pay for those parks, and we sometimes can't even use them. They're not safe. When I'm governor, we will end city camping altogether. And we are going to get serious about arresting homeless individuals who commit crime. And we will finally make Arizona neighborhoods safe again. So I also want you to know that my plan has compassion as well. We will get real help for those who need it most. Not this circle of doing nothing. But I do have a message for those out there who are out there just using drugs, living on the street, and causing trouble. Your time is up. You will not be able to do that in Arizona anymore, not when I'm governor. So it's an extensive plan. I don't have time to tell you all about it right here. I would love it if you take a look at it. It's on my webpage. It's at karilake.com. You can see the full plan. But we need to take our streets back. We need to improve our quality of life for all residents, and I plan to do that. I got to tell you before I leave tonight, we are the toughest of the tough here in Arizona. There's no doubt about it. Got a little cowboy spirit in us. Whether you are fifth generation or you've only been here 5 months, we are pretty tough. And we need to remember in these tough times that we are meant to be here. God put us here because we are going to make America great again and Arizona great again. So I thank you for being here. And God bless State 48. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The dance party will be just right outside. Jim's paying for everything. It's great. Let's hear for Kari Lake. I wish she were my sister. She's like so cool. It's awesome. Well, I'm really thrilled to introduce a dear friend of mine. He couldn't be with us here in person, but he did record a video on his behalf in support of Jim Lamon. Ambassador Rick Grenell, former acting director of national intelligence and former U.S. ambassador of Germany. And let me tell you something, a rock star, someone who was one of the toughest and strongest voices we had in the Trump administration. So let's watch this video.
Hi, this is Rick Grenell. I'm so sorry that I can't be with you. I'm in Florida at Mar-a-Lago, but I am with you in spirit. I am so excited for my friend Jim Lamon running for the Senate. I've been all in for his candidacy. I know he will be the senator that Arizona needs. You know, we talk a lot about people running for office from the outside, people that are newcomers. We want new blood. We constantly talk about having the outsider, and yet when the outsider runs, so many people say, hey, I've never heard of that person. But isn't that the whole point? I am so excited that Jim stepped up to be able to say to the people of Arizona that he wants to be a true public servant. I'm also honored that so many people who care about national security, border security, and immigration have endorsed Jim. I lend my voice and will be there campaigning with Jim. Let's put Jim Lamon in the Senate.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say my husband couldn't be here with me tonight, Matt Schlapp. He's actually watching the 5 girls tonight, so I could be here in Arizona. But when we first met Jim Lamon, we were so impressed by his wit. He's so smart. He's common sense. He knows what it takes to solve really tough problems. And we've got a lot of problems right now in America. And we need someone who's going to be the strongest advocate, the loudest voice, and someone who can work to get things done and stop this leftist agenda. So it is my great honor, and on behalf of both my husband and I, as we endorse, and he got the American Conservative Union endorsement, which is second to Donald Trump's endorsement, but it is the ACU endorsement really focuses in on conservative candidates who are going to stand up for the American values of freedom and of democracy and in this great republic that we live in. So it is my great honor to introduce the next Arizona Senator, Jim Lamon.
If you are pissed off about the direction of our country, let's go. If you're ready to secure the border and stop the invasion, let's go. If you want to keep corrupt politicians from rigging elections, let's go. I'm Jim Lamon. Let's take the fight to Joe Biden and show him we the people put America first. The time is now. Let's go, Brandon. Are you with me? I'm Jim Lamon, and I approve this message. Thank you very much, Arizona. Guys, I got a very distinct honor before we start this. You know, this gentleman over here, almost as tall as I am. This guy I met on one of the Trump rallies like I did Jeff DeWit years ago. You just see that principled guy in him. And knowing that he's been with President Trump 30 years, having his back. And then to go to the White House and be chief of operations of the Oval Office because the president trusted him. He didn't need any filters. He wanted to hear it straight from this guy. So I just want to bring up here for just a moment. I'm very proud of this endorsement from this gentleman. Keith, can you say a couple words for us, please?
Hello, Arizona. You know, I'm going to carry on a tradition that Mr. Trump often did when we were on the campaign trail. And I would like to recognize the uniformed law enforcement officers in the room. Many times we would go to venues, and he would actually recognize the law enforcement officers. And you would ask them, when was the last time you had recognition in your community? And they would say, never. So I want to take that time now just to say thank you to the guys and the first responders. They are the people between good and evil that protect us every single day. So on the way out, please thank them. I'm not a public speaker. As my good friend Jeff DeWit said, I'm often in the background, which I like, and I prefer it there. But I came a long way. I've endorsed one candidate in my life, and that was Mr. Trump, Donald J. Trump. Today, I'm endorsing my second candidate, much like Mr. Trump, Jim Lamon for Senate. There's several attributes, several things I have in common, and I'm just going to say a couple of those. But one, Jim is a patriot first. He's self-made. He cannot be bought, and he's a fighter. And he's a fighter. And he's going to go to Washington, and he's going to, I think, break some China, as they say. Right? It may not be pretty, but I can assure you he's going to get things done. And that's what we need there. We need people that are going to actually fulfill their promises to you, the people, and make things happen. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues here, and they have a few words they like to say, but I'd like to say thank you for taking the time, and go Jim Lamon.
Good evening. So I'm a cop. And you wouldn't believe how comfortable I am being in this audience right now. Normally it's not quite this pleasant. So thank you. I'm Ben Leuschner. I am the president of the Phoenix Police Sergeants and Lieutenants Association. I have been doing this for 32 years as far as being a cop. And I can tell you it's been getting a little rough. The other role that I have is I'm also the secretary for the Arizona Conference of Police and Sheriffs, which is a statewide group representing thousands of police officers throughout the state of Arizona. Thank you. I am not a public speaker. Most cops aren't. I'm definitely not as polished as Justin Harris was, so kudos to him. But what it does tell you is the fact of our support for Jim Lamon is so strong that I'm willing to get up here and actually speak. So just to give you an idea of how powerful that is. Let me give you a couple of ideas, though, to follow up on with what Justin was saying. Phoenix Police, right? We are losing right now 17 officers per month, net loss. That's after hiring, after lateral transfers. That's over 2 full patrol squads per month. That's been going on for over a year. Our next academy class has 5 people in it. Okay? We've lost over 200 net officers in the last year. That's an entire precinct. Our crime rate is at historical highs. Our homicide rate is the highest it's been since the early 2000s. The response times for emergency calls, right now it's at 7 minutes and 12 seconds. So just to give you an idea of what that means, it's normally under 5 for big cities. And the 911 hold times, the average is 15 seconds. If you're during peak hours, Friday night, Saturday night, it's worse. You can call 911 and wait for a while. Most people don't know that those 911 calls also go to the fire department, through the police department. So if you're having a medical emergency, you call 911 in Phoenix right now, you could wait for a while. I don't like to be a fear monger or whatever else you want to call it. Some of our left-leaning politicians in the city of Phoenix have described it as that. It's just facts. Anyone can look it up. So I want to segue that into the support that we've gotten from Jim on these issues. He is the only candidate that actually came in, met with us, listened to all of our concerns, wanted to help on every single issue, really cared about the Phoenix police officers and also statewide. AZ Cops in Tucson voted just this week to endorse him. And I'm proud and I'm proud to read the statement from AZ Cops as a board, which is, the Arizona Conference of Police and Sheriffs is a statewide organization representing thousands of police officers across the state of Arizona. Following extensive research by the AZ Cops Executive Board, AZ Cops is proud to announce our endorsement of Jim Lamon in your campaign for U.S. Senate. AZ Cops examines a number of factors in determining which endorsements are appropriate. We look at the record of accomplishment of candidates, their willingness to work with the leadership of our member organizations, and the nature and conduct of their campaign and groups that contribute to their campaigns. We were impressed with Jim's dedication to a positive campaign and your support of law enforcement. And in closing, we will always support Jim in this effort, and anyone that supports law enforcement, we truly appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Job Dickinson, and first, hasn't tonight been great? I love being in this room with a bunch of American patriots. All of you are here to fight for our country, and we appreciate that. So, I too spent 2 decades in law enforcement down in southern Arizona, and currently, I'm the area vice president of the National Association of Police Organizations. Just so you know, NAPO, for short, NAPO represents over 1,000 local police associations across this country and 241,000 law enforcement officers. So we try to do what we can legislatively to protect ourselves, to protect the citizens, to protect the communities. And with that said, I've sat down with Jim a few times. Jim came to us and Jim said, I want to have a good law enforcement policy, but you guys are the experts. What can I do to help you? And giving that time, talking to boots on the ground, he's going to have the right policies, not just overall policies, the right policies that are going to affect the safety of Arizona. Now, why nationally, and I'm going to tell you this, Jim, NAPO is giving you the endorsement to be the next senator of Arizona. Here's the reason why. Because cops all over this country know if Arizona's border's not secure, they're not safe in their state. So we know what's right. So on behalf of the executive director of NAPO, I'm very pleased to formally endorse your campaign for United States Senate. NAPO's endorsement is upon the recommendation of the Arizona agencies belonging to NAPO. NAPO is a coalition group that believes in fair and equitable crime control and law enforcement. It's time to control the crime, and we're here, and we believe Jim Lamon can do it. Thank you very much. Wait, I think Ben has something else to say, so I'm going to give him the mic back real quick.
So this is kind of hot off the press for us. So the Phoenix Police Sergeants and Lieutenants Association, we actually met with Kari. She also did the same thing. She met with us. She was concerned about all the issues. She followed up. She truly cared about the concerns going on. And obviously, we all know her support of law enforcement is tremendous. So today, I literally left just 2 hours before heading over here. We had our monthly board meeting. Our board unanimously voted to endorse Kari Lake in her run for governor as the next governor.
I just have to say, I know we want to hear Jim speak, but Ben, that means the world to me. I love our law enforcement. They do so much, and right now they're under such pressure. And when I'm governor, we're going to make life easier for law enforcement. We will bring law and order back, but we will make things easier for law enforcement and their families who sacrifice so much. So this means the world to me. Thank you so much. And I just want to share a little something. When I was meeting with you that day, it was really a day I'll never forget, not just because I was meeting with some really great heroes, frankly, That was the moment during that meeting that I got the word that I was being endorsed by President Trump. So I'll never forget that, and I'll never forget this endorsement. Thank you.
Okay. Guys, hopefully that just gives you a feeling of how much I love my state and my country with these great endorsements here, guys. So my fellow patriots, I'm Jim Lamon. I am your candidate for United States Senate, and I can tell you, by God, my campaign means business. With your support, in 285 days, don't wait a day, as you've heard before from Kevin Jackson and others, please, tonight, before you go to sleep, join our campaign, jimlamon.com. Get involved. We are opening, guys, more offices regionally than have ever been done in the state of Arizona. 14 regional offices, the most ever was 6 in the Trump campaign last year. We're doing those 6 and all over the state opening offices to give you that opportunity to join in and be a part of this movement. Because, guys, in 285 days, I, representing you, had this beautiful opportunity to go across town on election night, find the concession office or hotel or Motel 6, wherever, that I can find Mark Kelly. I'm going to present him on your behalf a one-way coach class ticket back to Beijing. That guy is a whole lot more comfortable over there than he is going to be here in Arizona. So now, before we get too deep into this, and I want to talk vision tonight. Anybody can come up here and tell you all the problems. I think we're pretty tuned in, right, to what the problems are. I want to talk to you about my vision to solve them, and you can see this kind of endorsement. I think you hopefully can see. I've been vetted by some tough guys and women, and they're standing behind me. But before we jump in, how about those ads we're doing? Huh? There's a few of them. You're going to see one every week for 40 weeks. So right now, we've got Let's Go Brandon. We got Line in the Sand. We got Mad as Hell. But folks, we're just getting started. Because you haven't seen anything yet. Listen for and watch on Super Bowl, the ad. Some things just had too much fun. We filmed this down in Benson, Arizona. Beautiful old town, the old Western, they shot a load of movies there. It's just too much. I mean, it's just fun. I want to, guys back there, can you just cue up a little teaser for me here, please?
And inflation.
And open borders.
And gas prices. And inflation.
And open borders.
And gas prices.
So, guys, I'm not going to give away the storyline, but there's some 3 villains in town. Black hats, black masks. Of course, the citizens don't have any mask on, as they have the freedom to choose. And the citizens are saying, you know, you're running a town, right? And, I mean, it's just, you know, when the stagecoach guys complain about the price of gasoline. I mean. So, guys, watch, and that's, you know, to make sure our campaign dollars go every day to beat Mark Kelly, this ad is going to play in the Tucson market because it's a little less expensive, but that will make it go viral. And then you're going to see it everywhere across the state and the country, of course, the following week, like you are right now. But that's going to be a lovely thing. So, guys, you know, in my campaign, during these ads, my goal is to ensure that not a single Republican, a single independent in this state will have any doubt what the contrast is between Lamon's policies and Kelly policies. Now, you can say, we know that in this room, we know that, we're informed. But guys, I want every Republican vote. I want every independent. I want to beat this guy. I want to send that message. Arizona is not red, or not this blue thing. It is solid red. Guys, I have spent my life building businesses, most recently a $1 billion company here in the great state of Arizona over the last 8 years. We employed over 1,700 Americans from zero 8 years ago, and guys, we built it with zero debt. Now, and a great team, and so recently sold that company in order to dedicate my time to defeating Mark Kelly and socialism in America. You know, guys, I've lived the American dream. I'm humble beginnings, right? Farm boy, Alabama, you saw in the video and stuff in many of the advertisements. How about them dogs? But before building that business, like I said, grew up on a farm. I know what hard work's like, getting up at 5 o'clock, going to bed at 9. I was big for my age still, you know, not too small, but standing next to Joby, I feel small. Played linebacker 2 years for one of the best coaches in the country, Coach Paul Bear Bryant at University of Alabama. After that, I served my country, our country, for 6 years as a paratrooper, U.S. Army officer. And guys, in that time, God bless, I was stationed on the front lines, Cold War. I mean, nothing like Afghanistan and Iran, like our troops have done today, but it was tough duty in Cold War. But I saw what communism was like, front lines, the hundreds of muzzles of tanks keeping their people in their country. Guys, that can never, ever be allowed to take root here. So I'm standing here running for U.S. Senate to fight, to ensure that American dream is going to be there for you, our kids, and our grandkids. And my fellow patriots, we live on the greatest country that God ever created. For 245 years, we've defended freedom here and abroad. Today, guys, and you know it as well as I do, we face enemies abroad like Communist Chinese Party, but we've got enemies in the house. These far left liberals. These guys promote Fauciism over freedom. They closed churches when Apple stores remained open. They teach our kids critical race theory over civics and then lie about doing it. This border, guys, I've spent a lot of time down there with Brandon and these brave guys that you saw today. I've gotten to know it. Brandon and I talk probably every 3 days about how bad it is. You cannot believe it. I couldn't believe it. 42,000 illegal immigrants from all over the world every week. These cartels and traffickers bringing their tons of drugs. China's working overtime to ship them through and kill Americans. In the last year, more Americans died of overdose on drugs than all of the years of Vietnam combined. This has got to stop. Our crime rate, as you just heard from these gentlemen, is up catastrophically. Police morale is down. It's now in every neighborhood in Arizona. So guys, I can promise you tonight, you back me, you work for me, and we go to the U.S. Senate together, I will shut down the business of the United States Senate until that southern border is locked down, tight, and secured. Thank you. And I say, no more of this. Elect me. I'll go to Washington. I'll stand up. I'll relentlessly battle those who want to turn this country, this blessed country, into a socialist regime. America is the most prosperous nation in the world. We are the birthplace of freedom as citizens. We are the defender in this world of what is good. We're the most generous on the planet. America is where anything is possible through hard work, sweat, and vision. My fellow patriots, I am not a politician. I am, thank God, I am, and thank Jesus, I am not a lawyer. But guys, I am one bold patriot, and I've got a bold vision for America. Guys, I'm going to spend just a few minutes here. Just bear with me. I want to give you my vision. I mean this from the heart. I wrote this, not the consultants. I want you to understand what is in here and coming out for you and us in this country. Because I mean these words. You know, I'm not taking a single lobbyist dollar. I'm not taking a single PAC dollar. I'm putting in a small fortune of my own, and I need your help because it takes a lot of money to beat George Soros and Mark Kelly. But guys, I'm going to be pure to us. Nobody is going to own me. Nobody is going to have a dollar over my head. So here, just bear with me for a moment here. Let me just kind of go through these. It's a little lengthy, but I think we need to talk about what our vision for America is. And that is an America with secure borders, safe streets and neighborhoods where our kids can go play again. Where we respect and defend, not defund the police. Where we have equal justice for all, not one for Kyle Rittenhauser and another for Hunter Biden. Where your Second Amendment right to carry is the law of the land. Where patriotism, again, flows in our blood. Guys, you remember when President Reagan was elected, we had these malaise of Carter and then Reagan. We all felt it, right? The movie Top Gun. Played it over the holidays. You know, it's really good. It's where our military is back to being the most lethal on the planet. And why most lethal? So we don't have to use it. Because no one would want to ever try us on a battlefield. Not this woke theology crap. 2 resumes, 2 I am after day one. Is this Austin and Millie? Shame on them and get them out of there. In our campaign office, we got a banner, the faces of 13 brave young men and women that perished, that were murdered because of the incompetence in the State Department and our military. I will never, that's going with me to D.C. to remember those guys. Where we as Americans think big again. Where we move a fraction of the water of the bountiful Mississippi River to the Colorado River and solve our water problems out here. Where big tech, this censorship thing is eradicated once and for all. Where it's our First Amendment, it's not theirs. Where citizens decide for themselves whether you want a vaccine or not. Where every voter must show an ID proving their citizenship. Where our election result is known on midnight, and we all believe in it. Where our kids get to go to the school of their parents' choice. Where they're taught the greatness of America. And when they emerge, they've got a great education that they can get a great job with. Where America, again, is the innovation and manufacturing capital of the world. I know a lot about manufacturing and have bought billions and billions of dollars of power plant materials every year for years and years. Guys, our politicians have put laws on our businesses, reasonable pollution control standards, work standards, safety standards, reasonable wage thing. Okay, fine, that's what a civilized society do. But that does not mean in China or India or anywhere else you can import that into this country and compete on an unlevel playing field with American businesses and work anymore. No more. You level the playing field, which I'll do in Washington, and by golly, Americans will win every darn day. We're in America. We're made in America. Products are on every shelf in every store, and the shelves are full. Where inflation shows up in your paycheck, not in the beef on the table. Where American energy dominates the world markets, where gas and diesel for us is less than $2 a gallon. Where American mining is robust and serves our needs versus Chinese imports. Where we mine our own lithium to make our own batteries to go in our own electric vehicles. Where everyone has freedom of speech. Whether you're in a debate and discussion, in a coffee shop, or on the internet. Where medical care is between you and your doctor, and it's good and affordable. Guys, what I'm trying to tell you is that these things are common sense. It's a matter of getting back to the way that we had it when we had it right. Too many politicians have sold out. And they're not all Democrats. I'm going to call out anybody who is not America first on the Senate floor. Where the $4 trillion that we send to Washington is, my God, that's enough to balance our budget, where every tax dollar is spent with the same priority that we, the taxpayer, put into making that tax dollar. Where entitlements are only for the truly needy or those retirees who paid into the system. Where everyone else who can work must work. Where we begin to pay down this mountain of debt, which is otherwise going to swamp our currency, and the Chinese will applaud because then the yuan becomes a global currency. But it will also swamp our kids and grandkids if we don't do something about it. Well, Jim, what the hell are you going to do about it? Let me start by, I've been very blessed with the Heritage Group, going days and days and days with them, with our staff, understanding where every dollar is spent. It is atrocious where these dollars are going to. Guys, I will do whatever it takes. I'll work as hard as it takes. Our team right now, the campaign, 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. We're doing about 1,200 miles a week across this beautiful state. No other candidates are coming close because I want to support you. Guys, there are plenty of federal departments, not just cut, but to close. And the first one I got in mind is something called the Department of Education. So guys, we as Americans and patriots, we have come too far. We have conquered too many enemies, shed too much blood with our forefathers, and surrendered to be able now to think about surrendering this great country. Everyone before us stood up to tyranny. Many gave their livelihoods. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is our turn to save this republic. I am the only candidate that believes so dearly in saving our country that I put a lot of dollars into where my mouth is in saying this. Millions have gone into supporting other Arizona conservative House and Senate people, and I recently put more money aside because we have the opportunity this year to make more than one, maybe 5 majority in each House and Senate. Then we get real reform in Arizona. I spent hundreds of thousands to personally support the great work and the patriots that were doing the audit. In 2021, I got really sick and tired of George Soros registering Democrats all cycle long. Said, where are we at as Republicans? Well, yeah, we start like 4 or 5 months before the election. That's not right. That's not what you do in business. So we set aside money. And in 2021, I founded the largest private voter registration project in this country. And guys, I can tell you, since last May, for first time in years and years in this state, we are now out registering Democrats over 2 to 1. These people that were doing it, they were out last summer, and I saw them out in front of Lowe's and Walmart and in post offices in 118-degree weather, registering voters. I'm going to ask those that are here tonight that are on that team to stand up for us just a moment, please. So my fellow patriots, I'm here to fight for you. I'm here to fight for America. I'm putting in a small fortune of my own. Again, as I said earlier, guys, I need your help. It's a lot of money to beat George Soros and Mark Kelly. I need you to volunteer. I need you to start working. 285 days will go by like that. It will be August before you know it, and then it'll be November. So you've all got donation envelopes. If you don't, they're at the door, of course. Or JimLamon.com. Don't wait till election month. Let's do it now, please. Come now. As I said, I'm not taking a single lobbyist dollar. I'm not taking a single PAC dollar. I can tell you, and it's available online, if you go to U.S. Senate campaigns and then look under the candidates in Arizona, every other Republican and Democrat, of course, they're already taking lobbyist and PAC dollars. I am not taking a single dollar. This ensures, again, this is a pure campaign. This is about us. This is about our country. I will owe no one except my fellow Arizonan and American patriots. Today, this campaign, guys, is amazing. We've got 2 dozen on staff. I pay all the overhead. Not a single one of your dollars is going to go to anything other than Mark Kelly defeating him, because I pay the overheads, and we do not do ads against Republicans. Our ads go against evil every day. With that philosophy, I can tell you today, the quarterly reports, everybody's already announced them. They'll be official here in the next couple of days. But the Lamon campaign today has almost 3 times the funds and cash on hand than all other Republican candidates combined. That's a great start, guys, but we're just getting started. It takes a lot of money to beat that cabal of Soros Kelly. This is a $100 million race, not because we want it to be, but that's what they're raising. If you want a fighter in D.C., if you want a, let's call it a Ron DeSantis on steroids, And I'm the guy. I saw Ron a couple weeks ago when he was out here and said, brother, God, you're doing a great job as governor. I wish we had one like that. But, I said, I'm going to make you look weak. So I love you, brother, but let's go. Then the Senate, I'm going to donate my salary to Arizona's most needy. I'm not going to take a pension. I cannot and will be bought. I'm going to D.C. to be a patriot, to defeat socialism, get our great country back on track for you, our kids, and our grandkids. It's that darn simple. And I appreciate you bearing with me, but now in closing, we must dramatically limit government's reach. It was never intended to be this way. The Constitution gives it that much, not this much. We must hold all elected officials accountable. I will promise you, he is my witness, I will not say one thing now, another in the general, and another in the U.S. Senate. I will be held accountable for what I've told you tonight, and what you'll find on our website is the same thing. Because from me, and as a veteran and a business guy, what you see and what you hear is what you're going to get. I've signed a 2-term limit pledge because you're never supposed to go there and make a living out. You're supposed to go there and be a statesman and come back home. Guys, we must defend America because there is no other America. There is no other refuge for freedom on this planet. We either stand today in the next 285 days, or there will not be many more tomorrows. My fellow patriots, again, as a college linebacker, a military paratrooper, a builder of billions of dollars of coal, gas, and solar plants, I've got the guts, the strength, and the determination, and with your support, we will win this race against Mark Kelly. Thank you. If you believe in the greatness of America, if you believe that it is worth defending from enemies, foreign and domestic, if you believe in freedom and independence from tyranny, if you believe in a safe and prosperous society, you must vote for Jim Lamon. Thank you, and God bless America.